We're live. What's happening, everyone? Nick York is West Ham Fan TV. Back once again. We're live and uncut now. It's been over a week since we've been here, right? How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, mate. We had last Thursday off because we went on a date night, me, you, and Graham, to see the Joker. Great night out.
What? Before we start the West Ham chat, what film that is?
Oh, great acting. I'm a big fan of his anyway. I'm sure it's just a shame that he don't do more films. He's a talented actor, but what a film! And then where was we on Monday? Oh, international break. Weren't much to talk about. I think you was out when you was running.
I was out. Yeah,
running
I
late. So
I had to go and run a few errands.
We skipped it, but we're back.
Sorry about that. Howdy, everyone. Comments coming in. Mighty Badger, question, little smiley face, James Fever. Howdy, lads. Now, Ryan, I'm struggling to get them up in a minute, mate, but the fixture list changes.
Yes.
December, most of December changed. A lot of January changed. What do you think of some of these fixture list changes, mate? Read them out to me.
Well, Arsenal has been moved to a Monday night. Southampton away has been moved,
which actually suits us. Actually,
yeah. Well, look, I know this is going to affect a lot of people being moved to a Monday, but for me, I'm over the moon because obviously, as people know, I'm getting married on the Saturday when we was due to play Arsenal. So, look, that's why I pay my Sky subscription, mate, because they sort me out with things like this. So, well done, Sky, for moving that one. But no, joking aside, it's not good when they move sort of fixtures to Monday night because people travel up and down the country to watch West Ham. But Southampton away has been moved to a 5:30 kickoff on a Saturday. Bournemouth's been moved to a 5:30 on New Year's Day. The one that's disappointed me is Sheffield United away. Has been moved to a Friday night, which is it's hard for me to get time off of work, and I was really looking forward to Sheffield United away, so I'm gonna have to try to work some magic for that one. And yeah, Leicester away has been moved as well. So I think 7 changes in total, really.
Weren't Leicester away originally on a midweek day?
It was originally a Tuesday, but they've moved it to a Wednesday now because I think Leicester play 5:30 on a Boxing Day. So
right,
yeah.
Look, there's some good changes in there. Obviously, the Arsenal one and that. But they say that's the ones that they should be moving for Monday nights. That's the ones that they should be moving for Monday night. The Sheffield United one bemuses me. It bemuses me because
it is a random one.
It's a random game. Obviously, like there's a little bit of history between the two teams, a little bit of bad blood between the two teams after what happened the last time they was up. And they've moved it to a Friday night. It's almost like they want it to kick off.
Yeah, I mean, if they wanted to move that game, obviously for Sky, then they could have made it a late kickoff on a Saturday or an early Sunday game. But a Friday night, as you said, there is bad blood between the two sets of fans and the two clubs. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. And like I said, it was one that I was really looking forward to going to this season, which I might have to miss out on now. Obviously, we'll be up there, but I might have to miss out on it.
Yeah, so might I. I don't know what the situation will be at that time. You know what I mean? So it's a tough one. I don't like. You know what I'm like, Ryan. I don't like if you're going to move a game to a Monday night. Make it a London derby. Make it a Midlands derby. Make it a Northern derby. We ain't got to travel too far. Shoving a team like us, oh Jesus, it's thunder and lightning outside. Shoving a team like us up in Yorkshire on a Friday night with the travelling back and all that sort of thing, it doesn't sit well for me.
especially on a Friday as well.
Friday,
yeah,
it's fucking awful. Like I don't know, it just annoys me.
I suppose we can't have it all our own way, really, can we? It's as I said, I mean, from a selfish point of view, I'm glad the Arsenal game's moved. But yeah, I know it's going to affect thousands of people that have already made plans. This is the thing with the Premier League. You can't seem to plan anything until Sky and BT and even Amazon this year are jumping in on the December fixtures, as we know. So yeah, it's a difficult one. But that's the Premier League for you, mate. I think Saturday 3 o'clock kickoffs are dead. Are dead now. They're rare. It's rare. It's rare you get a 3 p.m. on a Saturday now.
Steve Kelly says, also terrible you lads have to play us at Goodison at 12:30. No fault for fans.
Well, yeah, you're going up there tomorrow. I'm leaving here Saturday morning at 5:30 in the morning to get up there. So it's a proper early start.
Steve Kelly says, Amazon, what were your thoughts as fans for Amazon? We mentioned Amazon now. I like the Amazon model, to be honest. I like it. I think it would bring a lot more stability to fans. You can plan a lot more because the way they work their model is not to pick and choose games and then move them to, you know, suit them. The Amazon model is to pick a game, pick up all the games and have them all kick off at the same time. And as a model as a fan perspective, I want Amazon to win the next Premier League contract, if I'm honest, because it just makes everything so easy. It stops illegal streaming. It's a cheaper service than Sky. You don't have to pick up all the other stuff that you don't need. It's, you know, specifically like going to be on Amazon Prime. You know, and they show all the games, so you can pick the game that you want to do. There's some people were saying, Hammer's chat saying that's not what they've done, Nicky, mate. I'm pretty sure it is.
What's that? They've got two games in the two sets of fixtures in December. One at the beginning. They've got the midweek ones when we play, I think, Wolves. They've got that set of fixtures, and the Boxing Day. They've got all the Boxing Day fixtures as well. Amazon. I'm sure that was.
It was saying I was hoping they'd do that, but they've got a lunch, evening, and other kickoff time.
Yeah, when we was in that meeting, they said everyone was 3:00 kickoff, but they have mixed up the kickoff times.
Have they?
Yeah. I think we're still 3:00 though against Palace, which is a good thing.
Maybe that's what I was looking at them.
Yeah, that could have been moved. You know, being a London derby on Boxing Day.
Dixie the Pixel makes it look like Nicky has a mole. Yeah. Yeah, but I think that could be the model, though. You know, they might change a couple to, like, you know, an early kickoff and a late kickoff on the same day. But you know, when they was explaining it to us, because we've been in for a meeting with Amazon, they were saying it's all going to be on the same day. So, you know,
I think it is all on the same day, but at different times. Yeah. But as you said, it gives fans that haven't got Sky and BT that might have Amazon Prime the chance to watch it. But people like me, I haven't got Amazon Prime, so I'll probably be at the game, so it don't really affect me. So, but as I said, it gives other people opportunities to see the West Ham play.
No, they said Amherst chat just said they've moved the game to 8 p.m. kickoff Boxing Day. Well, they're doing exactly the opposite to what they fucking told us they was going to do. The liars. Away tickets, Ryan. We've seen today that a lot of people are starting to get banned. They're getting stadium bans, and what's the other one? They've been getting banned from buying away tickets for free games.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. I see someone tweet that earlier. That they've been banned until November the 3rd from the London Stadium, and they're not allowed to purchase tickets for free away games or something. It's ridiculous, isn't it? You know, you're getting people now. I don't think there might be people grassing other fans up. I don't know, but I think the club are setting up fake accounts to track these people. Which, you know, look, you've sold the ticket. When you own a ticket, you should be able to do what you want with it. So I don't. As long as you're not
within reason.
Yeah. I don't agree with people overselling, like charging people ridiculous money. If you're selling it, if you pay 30 quid for it, you can't make the game. You sell it for 30 quid, like away season ticket holders. They get a guaranteed ticket for every single game. If something comes up where someone is ill or they've got to work and they can't make the game, why should that ticket just go to waste? Surely West Ham don't want empty crowds at the away games. You know, let fans take it. As long as you're not selling them to people that are banned. That I agree with. If you're banned from West Ham, then, you know, don't sell them on to people that are banned.
But you might not necessarily know they're banned. There are like issues with the thingy, but at the moment there are no ways and means for people that can't have bought tickets and can't attend the game to shift them on. There's no ways and means of doing that. Until they get something in place, the club are stuck. Really, you know what I mean? It's always going to happen. But they need to get a system in place where if you can't attend the game, because don't forget they tie about 800 people into buying tickets, 500 people into buying tickets every game, whether they can attend or not with the away season ticket. So they need to, find a way where you can, legally transfer them tickets, an easy way. Not. I'm not saying like you have to jump through fucking hoops. You know what I mean?
All you got to do is something similar to like the when you can't make a home game, just put it available, and then priority points get first chance to buy them on the official website. Maybe do something like that. But look, we know that it's easier to sell it to your mate or give it to your mate than go through all that fast with a club. It's for me. There's too many people in here now that want to sort of, how can I put this? Bow down to the club to get in their good books, helping them out, grassing up on your own fans. It's ridiculous. I feel sorry for some people that, I see this person earlier that's been banned. He's up and down. Every away game we go, he's there. He's up and down this country week in, week out. He can't make Everton on Saturday, so he sells his ticket to his family or his friends or whoever. And then, you're getting a ban from going to watch your own team play. Why ban? All right, ban him for 3 away games, which is not fair, but home games as well. It's fucking ridiculous. What's football coming to? What is it coming to?
Well, it's coming to a game of grasses, it looks like.
So I said,
they've had a meeting recently, haven't they? This OSB meeting, which, I've said my piece on it. I won't go over it again, but, I don't agree with the way they've done it. I don't agree with, people that they invited from outside the OSB and all of that sort of thing. You know what I mean? And I'm one of them people that think that the OSB can work, but they've gone into a meeting and they've spoke about things and they haven't put it in the minutes of the meeting. Now, in my opinion, every single person on that board now should resign, because if you're going to a meeting and fucking talking about things and not telling people what you're talking about, and then all of a sudden this shit starts happening, then fuck off. You know what I mean? And I'll say it to their, I know some of the people that are involved in it. I'll say it to their fucking face. You know what I mean?
See, I know a couple of people on the OSB that are really decent people, and they're there for the right reasons. Some are there just to have their name on the website and their photo standing next to Karen Brady. Like, it's not a great thing, It's what goes on in their meetings. When minutes of meetings come out, it should be everything that was discussed in that meeting. Now, it's funny that this meeting was last week and things, and the ticketing was discussed, and now all of a sudden a week later people are getting grassed up and banned. So you look, it's not hard to work out.
Gio said to me earlier, it's either they've spoke about it in the meeting and they haven't put it in the minutes of the meeting, because, as he said, they've spoke about things in the meeting that they haven't, divulged to everyone that have been speaking about. And that's, to be honest with you, when you're representing fans, you've got to tell them everything. And when I finish this, I'm going to go on Twitter and ask the people responsible for fucking doing this stupid meeting the reason why they.
The thing is, mate, most of them people in that OSB, we know they'd do anything for a bit of free corporate, free anything from that club. It's
fucking disgusting. Right?
It is wrong, mate. We've grown up in an area where you don't grass on your own. You protect your own. You help your own out. You see all the images this morning in Canning Town.
To be honest with you, mate, some of the people in them, they're not my own.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, mate. We've grown up in an area like most West Ham fans have done. You see the images earlier with this thing at Canning Town Station this morning. People come together. They won't take shit. So if you keep upsetting these fans and getting people banned, there will be a backlash. And there's only a few names that people knows in these meetings. They're going to get targeted. And what are they going to do then? Hide behind Golden Sullivan's fucking Bentley? I don't think so. They won't want to know.
Our old mate Jamie Brownlow says, absolutely, going back to the away games, need bums on seats, don't need spaces in the stadium. Matt Powell says, the away ticket situation is why I prefer to go non-league. You can just go into the ground without a season ticket. Amos Chat, we work with Ticketmaster, for fuck's sake. Matt the Man, who I'm sure
Didn't we work with Thomas Cook as well?
Yeah, well, not who knows. It says to me, yes, Baldy. Darren Jenkins said it's two people just stop. It's two people just stop buying the tickets to get points up. If they can't sell the ticket on, then it might stop them buying it in the first place if they have no intention of going. Give others a chance. Matt the Man again says, come on, lads, make it more interesting. We're trying, Matt. We're trying our hardest. Matt Powell
we're gonna get onto the good stuff in a minute.
Paul Ince slams Declan Rice's 80 mil valuation.
See, I see this interview, and I don't I can sort of agree with Paul Ince in what he said. I've never thought I'd say that sentence in my life, but Declan Rice, Paul Ince actually turned around and said that Declan Rice is at a great club at West Ham. He's got great players around him. His valuation at the moment, he's not worth 100 million, and I have to agree with him. I don't think Declan Rice is worth 100 million pound yet, but he's got potential to be an 100 million pound plus player. Of course, he has. He's got the potential to go to the very top, but at the moment,
I do agree with what you're saying, and I think I agree with what Paul Ince is saying. But what I'm going to challenge it on and sort of like play devil's advocate is that's the market.
Yeah, that is the market. But people will keep comparing him to sort of Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's played in tournaments for England, and but Declan Rice, for me, has got the potential. I don't think Declan Rice is worth £100 million. There's a lot of players that go for this sort of money that are not worth it. But Declan Rice, for me now, I'd probably say he's worth between 65, 70, maybe 75. But 100 million is ridiculous. But Declan Rice is going to go to the very top.
I think
and he will be an £100 million player one day.
There's different sort of like categories though, isn't there? Age is on his side. He's 20 years old. He's got many years left playing at the top. He's got great potential. He's already a great player, but he's got the ability to get even better. We also it pains me to say, but we also see what happened when Rio and Lamps and Carrick and Cole went on to other clubs. You know what I mean? They sort of blossomed into better players. So he's got the potential to be to be honest with you, he's got the potential to be the best in his position in the world, to be quite honest with you. And he's English, which, inflates the price anyway. And he's on a long contract. At the end of the day, like when you're valuing players, I think you've got to look at all them factors, but they're worth what people are. He's worth what people are willing to pay.
Oh yeah, of course, 100%. And West Ham are in all their rights to ask for that sort of money because he is their asset, and he is a great player. I mean, the other day I was watching or listening to it on TalkSport, and I watched the video as well of it. I like the way that world-class superstar that won everything in football, Jamie O'Hara, says that he's overrated. I mean, Jamie O'Hara is sitting there talking like he's done it all. He's won fuck all in football. The only thing he ever boasts about is scoring a winner at Upton Park once.
And shagging Daniel Lloyd.
But this is it. When I can respect players like Paul Ince in a way because they've won it. They've won league titles. They've won FA Cups. They've played at great clubs. Jamie O'Hara, he's probably jealous of Declan Rice because I think Declan Rice has probably played more Premier League games at 20 years old than Jamie O'Hara has. I mean, Jamie O'Hara is what, 32? He should be in the prime of his career now. He should be finishing off it. But he's done fuck all. I think he got on the bench in the FA Cup final for Portsmouth once, and he's won a couple of trophies with Billericay Town. Says it all, really. Don't sit there and judge players like Declan Rice and then tell me that players like Harry Winks are world class and things like that. Nah, not having that.
Yeah, I don't. Ravi practice. I don't want to get too far into this, but lots of footballers have done Daniel Lloyd.
Daniel Lloyd's had more football players through her than a summer transfer window, mate. So don't worry about
that. Did you see, like, just quickly before we move on, did you see the I'll read out some of your comments in a minute, guys. Sorry, I'm not. Did you see the prank video on Declan Rice today?
Yeah, I was just about to talk about that. Yeah, it was great. Mark Noble loves doing all them prank videos, didn't he? But the bit that made it for me was when he was calling Ryan Fredericks his PA, and Ryan Fredericks,
he just went, yeah.
He didn't even know how to react, did he? He was like, but Declan Rice, it was a great sport. It shows that like football players, they're just the same as us because we'd have all reacted like that. It was when the
Yeah,
geezer
but
kept asking for a selfie.
he wasn't happy. He was. But the thing is, you know what made it even more impressive to me? That the clamp come off and he still stayed. Because if that clamp would have come off and that was on my car, mate, I would have been burning down that road faster than a speeding bullet.
But then now he's lucky he'd have got a speeding ticket. When it was all a prank,
Yeah.
he'd have ended up getting a speeding ticket. But no, yeah, Mark Noble, it was funny.
He's good at the old pranks, isn't he, Nobes?
Yeah. It's good sport. It's nice to see the players like relaxed like that and they can have a laugh. And I thought the geezer that played the traffic warden done a great job as well. Harry kept a straight face. If that was me, I wouldn't have lasted 10 seconds. I'd have been.
Yeah, he was just a bit moody though.
Oh yeah, you could. I'm surprised he didn't clock that it wasn't real, because as soon as I see that traffic warden outfit, it was like, no, you can. You tell straight away.
But
when
you're not looking for that, right? I don't know how many traffic wardens he's bumped into in his few years driving.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know. Olivier Giroud. We've got to talk about Olivier Giroud. Marked some comments in the press. Apparently, is a target of ours come January. Obviously, Pellegrini's been talking about getting in a striker and whatnot. Olivier Giroud's name's popped up. We spoke about this earlier off air. You quite fancy it, didn't you?
Look, I think it'll be, especially if get to January, we're still in that sort of top 8, pushing for the top 6. We lost Hernandez, and we need backup. So someone like Giroud, 33 years old, it wouldn't be too much of a gamble. As we see last season, I think he had a great season for Chelsea last year. He's obviously been pushed out of the team this year because Abrahams is on fire at the moment, and people like Giroud ain't going to want to sit on the bench. At West Ham, he'll have more of a chance. So, yeah, I think it'd be a good signing. You get him on the cheap, maybe a 2-year deal or a year deal, whatever. You know, it could be decent. I know we want to go looking at younger players, which I agree with, but as a short term, Olivier Giroud, I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind him at the London Stadium.
No, do you know what? I was a bit against the idea. I'm just wondering how much he would fancy it, though, because the reason he wants to leave Chelsea early is because he wants to play. If Haller's fit, he plays, and I don't think they're playing together.
Yeah, that's the only thing. If you can get him in and say, look, you got to come and fight, you might be spending some time on the bench, and he's up for it, then yeah. But if he decides, no, I want to play first team football, then West Ham's not his destination, unfortunately.
Let's take some comments off of the guys in the chat. If you could bring back one player from all our history for the rest of the season, who? We'll answer that in a minute, mate. If we cannot service Haller, how are we going to service Giroud? That's true. It's tricky with strikers due to Pellegrini's formations. Duvet Dancer says Giroud on a short term is okay. Ryan King says Giroud would be a top hit man to have. He scores goals, holds up play, and wins most things in the game. James Fevers
sounds like Haller.
Yeah, good signing. You don't start for France if you're not decent. Can help Haller also. Kenny Man, surely Chelsea can't afford to sell any more players. He's not getting in the team, unfortunately.
But not only that, I think his contract runs out in the summer, so he can. I think they'd just have to get anything for him, wouldn't they? They sort of. I'm not saying they need the money, but if they can get maybe 2 million for him, 3 million, then I think they'll take it.
Candy Man, want a pacey striker for counter attacks. Absolutely. Alfie McAuliffe says, all I want is a quality right back. Don't rate Fredericks at all.
I think Fredericks has had a decent start to the season, but I agree we do need another right back, because I think Fredericks is all right. I think Zabaleta is the one that needs replacing. Obviously, he's leaving at the end of the season anyway. So if we could get someone in January to back up and push Fredericks, then yeah. Definitely.
Fat Shack 34 says, what's up, Nicky and Ryan? So hyped for Saturday. Let's get the W at Goodison. And as always, always getting behind the lads. We'll talk about Everton in a minute. Matt Powell says, apparently we're close to signing Mipo Odubeko, 16-year-old striker, formerly of Man United, highly rated. I've heard about this rumour.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's been the last few weeks this rumour has been floating about. A lot of potential he's got, and he looks like he wants to come to West Ham, which is always a good sign. You know, you think years ago, Man United, whoever leaves a club like Man United to come to West Ham, but things are changing now. You know, they can probably see that we're bringing through young players. We've got good youth set up. So 16 years old.
we've always had quite an attractive
Oh yeah. 16 years
for.
old. But if you were 16 years old and you was at a club like Man United, you know, but maybe he wants to change the scenery, come down to London, big London club. So I don't know too much about him personally, but I've only seen sort of the rumours about him.
Darren Jenkins says thoughts on a Boxing Day game at 8 p.m. I'm completely against that. For me, all Boxing Day games should be 12:30 kickoffs. Oh my God, the rain's coming down now. Won't lie though, I'd be happy with no home games in between Xmas and New Year break. Yeah, I wasn't sure that they changed that, but I've just been informed that they changed that, and that's pretty poor from them because when they pitched it to us, I think they said that all games would be the same time and people could. It may be just the temptation of the big club. That's the most watched club at the minute, Liverpool. They've sold the most tops in the country.
Who are they playing? Who are they playing on Boxing Day?
Fuck, do I know? I think it might be Everton, to be quite honest with you. But if it is Everton, it's not so bad. I'll check that in a minute. Stephen Kelly says, all right, lads, Everton fan here. Always like West Ham. Watched your documentary on Amazon Prime. Wanted your thoughts on it as we are moving stadium in 3 years. Stephen, one thing I would say, mate, and I'm sure most West Ham fans would back me up on this, is get ready to be very, very emotional. Get ready for an emotional farewell. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and also I'd say is just it's going to be tough. It's always tough to. Goodison Park is a great old-fashioned stadium, and we're going to be there on Saturday, and it is a great old-fashioned stadium, and they're a dying breed now. That's another stadium that's going to be gone, and another old-fashioned stadium. But football moves on. But yeah, just bear with it. It will be difficult at first. Arsenal have been through it. Loads of teams have been through it. West Ham, Tottenham as well. Their fans are suffering at the moment with it. It will be difficult.
Seeing as we're on the Everton subject, let's go on to Saturday's game. 12:30 kickoff, early one. First thing to play on the weekend. Never my favourite time to play, if I'm honest. Especially when you're away up that far. It seems like our players always sort of.
See, we do quite well on early kickoffs on Saturdays.
Do we?
The one thing is, I mean, we've won one in our last 5 in all competitions, but we win on Saturday, we go up to 3rd. Shows how tight it is. That will change, obviously, over the weekend. But we need to get back to winning ways, and I think it's a good time to play Everton because they're on a bad run of form. They sit 3rd from bottom. They'll be looking for a win. So the longer the game goes on, 0-0, or if we go 1-0 up, their fans will get on top of them, put a bit of pressure on them. And Marco Silva's under a lot of pressure as well. Listen, Everton away is always tough. It's been a tough ground for us to go for many years. We haven't seen many wins up there ourselves, but it's a game that we can win. If you offered me a point now, I'll take it. Of course, I'd take a point because Everton's a tough ground to go to. But I think we are good enough to win. We just need to make sure that we get amongst them and get the fans on their back from the first whistle. Plus, they haven't got Lukaku. They haven't had him for about 3 years, and he still panics me. I still think he's going to come on and score for Everton.
The thing is with Everton is you can look at this 2 ways. This could be an absolutely brilliant time to play them, or it could be the worst time to play them because they've got to do something. If Silva's going to keep his job, if they've got anything in the tank, they're going to come out on Saturday all guns blazing because they have been absolutely pissed off.
I remember when they were struggling before and they got Big Sam in and they played us and they beat us 4-0 and Rooney scored an hat-trick. And so it could go that way. If Everton, Goodison Park, when it's bouncing, when it's rocking, they get behind that team, Everton are going to perform. So, but we've got the players that, I mean, Yarmolenko loved it up there last year. Got his first 2 goals for the club.
Yeah, he was good last year. It was
a great win.
That was our first win last year as well. So it hasn't been a terrible hunting ground in the last 4 or 5 years for West Ham. It's been sort of a mixed bag. We have won up there a couple of times, which before that I couldn't really remember a time. I remember when we always used to get spanked up there. They need a reaction. I think the first goal on Saturday is key. It's key. If we get that goal, and get it early, I think it could be a fucking tanking, to be quite honest with you, because they are going to be going ballistic.
Yeah, they're desperate for it. So are we, though. We're desperate for a win. As I said, we've won 1 in the last 5 in all competitions, and we obviously late defeat against Palace. We need to get back to winning ways ourselves. So if we can get 3 points there, it'd be massive. And as I said, we move up to third for a few hours, depending on other results.
Let's have a look at some of the comments. What were your thoughts on the documentary? I think he's talking to. Oh, we went to the premiere. He's talking about the Iron Man. That's on Amazon Prime now. Yeah, it was good. It was a good documentary. Stevie Warboy says Andre Gomez back for Everton, good solid player who we wanted. Matt Masters, this is a good one. We didn't discuss this. Any ideas what happened to the Liverpool game? Looked on Sky Sports fixtures and couldn't see it on there at all. It's something to do with
They're
the
playing
World Championships.
the FIFA World Cup thing, whatever it is, the Club Cup thing that they've been invited to.
This fixture, we ain't been invited to it. Is that what you said? We ain't been invited, West Ham.
No, Liverpool got invited to. I think it's one of them competitions that you have to be invited to. But yeah, we definitely don't get a look in.
It was one of them competitions that it was the competition that in that 2000, I think Man United got absolutely slaughtered for because they chucked themselves out the FA Cup. For it, you know what I mean? And yeah, it was one of them ones. But they've been invited to these World Championships. The fixtures in December has been scrapped. I don't know when that'll be arranged for. I would imagine that would end up being for a weekend because that's when you get the big fixture congestion as well, which might do us a favour because we get a little rest. Before a lot of people play 2-3 times over that Christmas period, and that means we'll get an extra game off.
I'm telling you now, that game's going to come back to haunt Liverpool because by the time they set that, it's going to be around end of February, March time in a midweek. City are going to be like a point behind them, and then we're going to beat them. City go top, and City win the league.
That's at our place as well, isn't it?
You heard it here first.
That's at our place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at our place. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be one of them ones. The thing is, as well, it might not be till April sort of time. It'll be sort of like at a time when we're both out the cup, or if we're both in the cup.
We'll be available from January then.
Yeah, but yeah, it'll be about a time when we're both at the cup, or if we're both in the cup, it'll be a midweek game, probably in about March, April time. But it could come back to autumn. James Fever, I will settle for a draw up there. We've got a poor record up there. Matt Powell says I hope we'll win, but like Marco Silva say, I hope he doesn't get the sacked if we beat them. Zayad,
I don't get this fascination with Marco Silva. I really don't. I remember when we was linked with him, like he struggled at Watford, he struggled at Hull, got relegated. I don't see the fascination. I don't think he's a good manager. I honestly don't. He hasn't done wonders at Everton either, so I don't get the fascination with him. But some people, I don't know.
Sometimes people can just see things what people can't. I remember once, right? And I'm going to grasp myself up here because this has been lost in the doldrums of West Ham fan TV for a long time. I said I wouldn't take Jurgen Klopp at West Ham because I didn't think he was a very good manager.
Well, that sums everything up right there.
That shows you what I know, doesn't it? Yarmolenko up front always seems to find the net, says VR Productions.
Done very well for Ukraine in the week. Great finish.
There was some sort of mixed performances in the week. We'll talk about that in a minute. My favourite time in Australia, as I'm not getting up at 1 a.m. and I can have a couple of beers to watch the game without with a 10 p.m. kickoff. Happy days. So the early kickoffs are good for you, Ryan. Everton away, we have all won. We have won when we play fast on the break. Looks at the last wins, all goals on break. God, there's comments coming in left, right, and centre now. The international fixtures, Ryan. Obviously, there's huge debates going on at the minute with England and stuff. But we'll concentrate on performances. Declan Rice on Friday night wasn't good, was he?
No, it wasn't a great game for him. It wasn't a great game for any of the England team. I thought everyone was poor. Declan Rice was poor. You can't.
Why is he getting scapegoated again?
The thing is, he was sort of set up to foul in that team because that midfield was poor. Henderson and I can't even remember who else he had in there, but it wasn't a great team. Declan Rice obviously has to play with the better players around. I don't think him and Henderson can play together, so it's either one or the other. And at the moment,
Henderson was just fucking bad.
I know, they was all bad.
If not worse.
Everyone was bad. But I thought, the media seemed to always have a scapegoat. It's the thing
Do
is with
you think, right now, I was thinking this the other day. I nearly tweeted this out, but I never ended up doing it. But the media only want to talk about the top 6 clubs. Yeah, they only want to talk about the Man Uniteds, the Liverpools, the Tottenhams, the Chelseas, the Arsenals, and the Man Uniteds and whatever, until there's someone to blame. And then they don't want to blame the Rashfords, the Hendersons, the fucking Maguires, the people like that. You know what I mean? They put the blame mostly on Keane, who was poor, and Rice.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. It's but do you know what? They've got a good manager in Gareth Southgate that backs them. I'm not fussed. Sometimes it's good, like the media, when when the experienced players that have been there and done it, they're all right to criticise sometimes. But for me, when you get people like Jamie O'Hara going on TalkSport talking absolute bollocks, for me, I don't listen to players like that, and I don't think Declan Rice should worry about players like that. Declan Rice has got a massive career in football, in club football, and for international. So he's only 20 years old. He learns every game. We see him week in, week out. Some of these pundits see him 2 minutes on a bit of highlights on Match of the Day, if that.
But Yama doing bits for Ukraine, beat Portugal, qualified for the Euros.
Yeah, Yarmolenko, look, he's really impressed me this season. Since he's come back from his injury, I think he started off the season a bit slow, but he said every game he seems to improve for me. And he had a great performance for Ukraine, back in the team, scoring, great finish as well. And you see the videos after of him celebrating with his teammates because, as you said, they qualified for the Euros. So it's massive. And I see a video of him today back at training, smiling, back with his teammates. And if Yarmolenko's
he's had a couple of very bad years, hasn't he?
Yeah, injury-wise he has. And, he was out for a long time. And it takes the thing is, what people don't realise is when these players are injured, they're not mixing with their teammates. They're stuck in a gym while their mates are out on the training field. And you do feel isolated and you don't feel connected with the rest of your squad. But now, you see the videos of all the players together in training, like Felipe Anderson, Fornals. It's good to see. It's good. And if Yarmolenko's on form on Saturday, he's going to punish Everton. He's in good goal scoring form for West Ham as well.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Who would you rather go down? Matt Powell says Manchester United or Spurs. I'd rather Spurs go out of business, to be honest with you. Zayed, clear it.
Nicky's frozen.
Hello. Ollie will get sacked before Christmas. Andy Walsh. Declan should be more worried about his car getting clamped. We spoke about that already. Jamie Brownlow says England have played very bad from goalkeeper to up front on Friday. Improvements against Bulgaria. 1 or 2. We'll talk a little bit about the Bulgaria game in a minute. I think people with a platform should speak about that. Nicky and Ryan, seeing people that said we should be getting 9 points in the next 3. I think that's crazy, seeing as they are tight games where teams will sit behind the ball, can only see us getting 4. Listen, you've got no right to have points in the Premier League. You've got to work hard for them. As long as they work hard, I can see 9. If they don't work hard, can't see none.
Just quickly going on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thing. I think if they lose to Liverpool badly, he'll be sacked.
Yeah, they've got. They stopped taking money for Allardyce being the next manager. Allardyce, Man United.
The mighty have fallen, eh?
They've got that Allegri lined up now. That they reckon, but this is all just guesswork. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on. To be quite honest with you, comments coming in left, right, and centre here. Man United are the most boring club. Where's that gone?
We missed out on that question earlier that you said you was going to go back to, which was a good question. Like, if you could bring one player back, was it for the rest of the season from our history? I'd stick old Billy Bonds in midfield with Declan Rice.
Do you know I'd have back? Ashton.
Nah, we've got Allaire.
Allaire's good.
I love Dino. You could bring back DiCanio, Dix. We need a right back. Bring back old Timmy Breaker. That's what I want. Tim Breaker on a 3.
Right. So obviously, I think we should talk about
Tevez for Sheffield United.
I know it's not. You can get t-shirts at WHFTV Shopify.com. Yeah, I know it's not West Ham related, but I think people with platforms should speak about it, right? The stuff that happened on Monday, was it Monday?
Oh, Bulgaria, yeah.
The Bulgaria stuff. Like I put out a video. I made my thoughts clear on it. They're not doing enough, are they, to stop it?
No, I mean, I've seen UEFA handing out fines today to all English clubs, and for me, it's like I think the Bulgarian fans that got caught got fined £450 each and banned for 2 years. What's that going to do? The only way to hurt these people is, as I said on Monday, and as you said in your video, you got to start banning these countries from tournaments. Hit them where it hurts. Hit them where it hurts. Yeah. Ban them from next 2 tournaments, the qualifiers, because their FA suffers because they're not earning money.
Even their greatest player today has said the same thing. He said he must have watched my video. I swear of it, because he said, like, you know, they need to be banned for 5 years from international football. I think the worrying thing is, mate. I think the more worrying than even like the FA not stepping out is the fact that you had the manager come out and say it wasn't us, it was England fans.
No, you also had the goalkeeper as well, and the manager saying that they didn't think nothing was happening, was going on. For me, that's
a lie. That's lying.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But for me, Monday night was just one example. I mean, we can talk about examples in this country that it's happened in the last few years. It's happened at West Ham in the last couple of seasons. You know, you got to start.
I think there's no. I mean, you know, racism is racism, no matter what. But the ones in England, it's one person out of the crowd shouting, saying this was crowds of people.
Yeah, this was well organised by brainless people. You know, they knew what they was doing. They do it. The thing is, their ground was half shut because of it. It happened in the game before. So what do you do now? What do they do? Teams like Bulgaria. You know, look, it's not all their fans. We know that. It's like when it happens in England. It's like when the hooligans in the 80s. It wasn't always every fan. But how do you do it? You just got to start hitting them where it hurts. You got to start finding, like, deducting points from the teams.
It's up to people like UEFA, like FIFA, to start to really smack these in the face. While they're rounding them, petty fines, it's not sending out a great message. It's not sending out a great message. And as I said before, you see it in the stands, mate, but you can tell by interviews, by, press releases and things that come out of the country. It's not just the crowds. It's mentality in some players. It's mentality in some FA members. It's mentality in boardroom level and things like that. And why you've still got it in there and they're not doing their bit to eradicate it, as I said, it's down to UEFA. And like, you shouldn't have players like Raheem Sterling or Tyrone Mings or, Marcus Rashford being subjected to that sort of thing. Like, there should not be a position where they say, right, you've got to go and play here and you've got to go and be subjected to this. Do you know what I mean? Like,
what makes it worse, though, mate, is that 2 of the Bulgarian players were blacklisted as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not. They don't give a fuck, right? At the end of the day, they're bottom of that group as well. They're not going into the, into the tournament. Yeah. So, and they know that. They know that. Then that it's a pointless game to them. It's obviously means a lot to England, but it's a pointless game to them. They can't qualify.
Do you know one thing I would say is that I've seen a lot of criticism for England saying that they're a disgrace for not walking off. I think if they'd have walked off, the racists win. England done exactly what they done exactly what was right. They stayed on the pitch. They finished the game. They won 6-0. They go on. They got, we qualify. It shouldn't happen. It should not happen at any football ground. But you walk off because the sad thing is, and the reality of it is, if England would have walked off that pitch, they would have got a bigger fine for doing that than probably what the racists get and what Bulgaria gets. That's the sad thing.
There's some sort of protocols in it, but it's not. It shouldn't be down to these players, right?
The protocol is 3 times. So if it happens once, that's enough. Why? What is it like 3 times? If I was someone was racist to me, I wouldn't let them do it 3 times before I decided, right, I'm going to go home and I'll walk away or say something. You
Before you
do it
chin.
first time. That's it is. But England
Well,
done it right.
if they're allowed 3 strikes, mate, then it's not zero tolerance, is it?
I think Gareth Southgate showed on Monday night why he should be managing England. Why he should be managing England, because he cares about his players, you know, and he put them first, and he left it to them to decide. Do you want to walk off or do you want to stay on? And then players just wanted to play on. They wanted to go out for that second half, win the game, and then get back home, get on that plane and come home. It's not nice. It shouldn't happen. It's been happening too long. We're in 2000. We're in 2020, and there is still things like this happening. Yes, it happens in this country, but not the extent like that did. That if it happens in Italy, it happens. Spain, it happens. You know, these are big countries, big nations. So how do you stamp it out? You can't. Unfortunately, you can't, because you're always going to get. The only way is that maybe deducting points from your team. Because if, say, for instance, if
Well, I think to be honest with you, people were saying that about the other day. Like I brought up the cases of Montenegro and Bulgaria and all that, and sort of like Eastern European countries. I think are sort of quite bad for it. But as you said, it does happen in Spain, in Italy. You know, maybe hitting one of these countries with a fucking big ban would sort of like kick everyone else up the arse and think,
and
well,
I include
if
England
they're
in
to Italy,
I include England in
England
that.
included. Anyone should be up for it. But you see the stuff with Lukaku in Italy, and as I said before, it doesn't just start at the fans; it starts at board level. I mean, the Bosque, I remember a couple of years ago, got done for. Remember when he was saying them things about Henri and to Reyes. You know, remember Reyes?
I mean, Clive Tilsley, the commentator, is one of the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen, because he was sitting next to Ron Atkinson when he made that remark about Desai all them years ago, and he didn't say nothing. So for him to sit there in the commentary acting like he's peacemaker and all that, he's got to look at himself. You know, you can't let these sort of things happen, especially in today's game. You know, it's such a like a family game now, and you get kids going there, and that they shouldn't be sitting there. But some of them people look so proud of what they was doing, and that was the upsetting thing. That was the upsetting thing, that they've gone to a game of football not to watch football, but to sit there and be racist towards our black players. But listen, I don't care what colour our players are. You know, they pull on that England shirt. I don't care what club they play for. All this shit about Tottenham players playing. I don't care. When they pull on that England shirt, they're English. They're playing for our country, and they're making us proud.
Let's take some comments. Brownlow says point deduction or ban. UEFA too soft. Nicky J, Nicky 32 _66 says, I'll say this to everyone the other day. There are so many uneducated people out there. Callum Burgess said, let them play indoor games. Brownlow again, no confidence in UEFA. Nicky again says, and I blame nobody but the government for not fucking helping them out. Cole Creed, I watched your video as I could not sleep. 5 minutes later, I was. Were you fucking type in your sleep as well? Ryan King says, how can it be zero tolerance on racism, but then there's a FIFA 3-step process? That's not zero tolerance. Yeah, that's a good point, Ryan. That's what I said. Ravi Brait says, then Bulgarians who saw nothing wrong must be related to Wenger. He's not saying Wenger's a racist. He's just saying that he's got that, he
didn't see anything.
Disease where you don't see anything. Eastern Europe is about 30 years behind the West in that regards. Philly's Big Blue Rabbit. UEFA fine clubs more for being late on the pitch than they do for the racist behaviour of club fans. Until UEFA show they are serious, we'll be having this same conversation for years.
Well, who was it? Nicholas Bentner got fined more for showing Paddy Power on his boxer shorts than what clubs have been and countries for racism. It's ridiculous. As you said, until you hit these clubs where it hurts, because if, say, for instance, Man City fan, let's just take Man City I'm not saying they're racist or whatever, I'm just giving an example. If Man City got deducted 6 points for racism, one person was racist, the FA went, right, we're deducting Man City, we're punishing Man City, and it cost them the league. You know, that's the sort of thing that hurts the fans more. It hurts the clubs more. So instead,
As I said, the thing is, what winds me up about it, right, is that like some people say, "No, you can't do that. You can't do that." I'll tell you what. When there was the high seal disaster over in Italy, um, well, I don't know where it was, but when I was playing Juventus and the Juventus fans got killed, they didn't have any problem chucking everyone out of the European competition over like a minority. And I'm not saying that's wrong that they did do that. You know, it was you know, people got killed. You know, and I'm not saying it was wrong to chuck teams out, but everybody suffered. We suffered. We'd have been in the European Cup if you know, if that hadn't have happened. We didn't get into Europe because of that. But I'm not saying that's wrong, because at the end of the day, you know, that was the consequences for something happening, and it sort of, I'm not saying it curbed it, but it sort of made people think twice by the time we came back, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
the only thing that what I suggested where it could get wrong is you might get Liverpool fans sneaking in the Man City end, being racist, so Man City get deducted points. But I'm just using them as examples. I'm not saying Man City fans are racist at all. They're a great bunch of fans at Man City. But look, they've got to do something. They can't just keep handing fines out. They can't keep doing things on Twitter like, let's all do a hashtag or stay silent for a couple of hours. They've got to do something. They've got to hit the clubs, and that will hurt the fans. And then it maybe make them think, but look, or just don't be racist. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's easier said than done, mate. Anything else before we leave?
No, mate. I think we've covered most of it. It's just the obviously the Everton game. We can do some predictions. I'm gonna. Yeah, it's a difficult one, but do you know what? I think it's going to be a repeat of last season. I'm going to go 3-1 West Ham.
I was going to say 3-1.
We're going to be 3-0 up, and they're going to get a consolation at the end because our players are too busy celebrating. But no, I am confident, but I'm also thinking in the back of my head, we could be on the end of a good hiding because Everton need a win. They're third from bottom, because I honestly think if we beat them, Marco Silva could be out of a job.
Yeah, I agree. I'll make my prediction 10 minutes after kickoff. No, I'll go 2-1 then. You go 3-1, I'll go 2-1.
Yeah, we'll be sitting here next week going, how did we lose that 4-0?
How we lose that 17-0? Oh my God.
But no, it's going to be a tough game. Goodison, and it's a early kickoff live on telly. So look, who knows? But if Yarmolenko, Anderson, Lanzini needs a big improvement this week. Especially he's had a rest now. He's got no excuses. Sebastian Haller, I think, from what I've seen of Keane, I think Haller's going to have a sort of field day against him. They've got their players that can hurt us as well. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, I think I fancy us for the win. I fancy us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV Live and Uncut. We've been going on for nearly an hour. That's what happens when you leave it for a little while. I think we're going to start reducing the live shows down to Thursday nights only, because we want to start recording a podcast. There might be a live show on a Monday night with Ryan, but without me. But we will let you know later on in the season as that sort of progresses. But yeah, great. Thank you very much for joining us. Go and check out our store. The link is in the description down below. There are now sweatshirts and hoodies to buy, and they are excellent. And they're not much money, more money than the t-shirts. We've got ours on our way, Ryan. And before Sheffield United, there is a Carlos Tevez t-shirt. A Carlos Tevez t-shirt. Link in the description down below. And if you order before the 20th, it will guarantee to be here before Sheffield United game. There are more t-shirts coming as well. I've seen a couple of more designs. I've just got to sign them all off and get them up on the store. But it's starting to build up nicely now, Ryan.
Yeah, some good designs. Like the sweatshirts look really good. Just in time, you know, the winter's creeping in now. The old jackets and coats start coming out. So, yeah, but the Tevez t-shirt, great design. It's going to be a good game against Sheffield United at home. The atmosphere is going to be blinding. I've seen a lot of people that have been purchasing Tevez masks. So it's gonna
They're gonna look like they're gonna look like pricks if we lose.
It's gonna look like Halloween with all them Tevez masks walking around. Like you ain't gonna know who's who. But yeah, it's all set up for a 1-0 loss. You know it, but it's gonna be a great atmosphere, and you know the old Tevez songs are gonna be out in force.
Duvet Dancer says morning after the game before Nicky. Yeah, I've done a little pilot of that, mate. I did like the way that went. I want to try and reshift the format. I might start that again soon. Trying to find some more time at the moment, but yeah, we're definitely getting there. I think the dot is back. It's never been away.
On the socials, going to be back next week. Finally, I'm now finished all the stuff that I've had to do in my personal life. So now, yeah, I'll be back on the social. We'll be back from next week.
Matt Powell says, please say everyone wear a Tevez mask and Aaron. I'd rather you wear a Tevez t-shirt purchased from WHFTV merch shopify.com, to be honest. But yeah. As I said, thank you very much. It's nearly it was 2 minutes. Should we go 2 more minutes to see out the hour?
Yeah, if you want, mate.
This quick one from Zayad is Rice that much better than McTominay? In my opinion, yes, he is.
I like McTominay though. He's a good player.
People still asking about the forfeit. It's down to these boys to make it up.
Yes. That is going to be after Christmas. It's going to be a home game after Christmas, and yeah, you're going to love it.
Fruity Tooty YouTube says, will Dan be doing FIFA predictions? I'm sure he will be. West Ham Ron 1 says, are you married yet, Ryan?
No, mate, I'm getting married the day we play Arsenal at home, but now it's been moved to the Monday. The game, not the wedding.
Luke says, I've just spent £500 worth of West Ham stuff. Luke, go and get yourself another 25, 30 quid, mate, and go on our website. You see them hoodies, mate. You're going to like them. Nicky Denham says, Nicky, it's time to bring back Andy Carroll.
Yeah. Nah. You should have done Tevez Scar. It's going to be Tuchel wearing just a T-shirt. You can wear a T-shirt over your jacket.
Yeah, I don't knit that well.
Or we could whack the Tevez design on the jumper. No?
We could. I don't know whether we will, but we could. Right, that's it. By my accounts, that's 8 o'clock. £500. Geez. Nicky, are you the best man? Yes, I am. Bet you Carroll scores against us, says Luke. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV. You can see us from tomorrow, obviously, building up towards the Everton game. I'm sure there's a preview going to go up very soon. All the fan cams and stuff from Everton, all the stuff and the fallout from Goodison Park over the weekend. Monday we'll be back with another live show, maybe. And yeah, and it just carries on from here, Ryan, I suppose.
You're up to Liverpool tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going up there. I might try and get a few videos up with the Toffee TV boys if they're about. I did message them, but no one's got back to me yet. But
I'm up there on Saturday, so 5 o'clock I'm leaving. So if you do see me in the services, buy me a black coffee. I'll be knackered.
All right, brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. One thing left to say, Ryan.
Come on, you irons. I like that awkward way.
I should start to end it before I do that, really.
Nah, you love it.